get a hot racing here at Thruxton with the amazing, the fantastic, it's the Super Tourers.
With pole position ahead of Patrick Watts' Peugeot, James Dodd was the man to beat. John Cleland had parked his Vectra on 5th position, just behind the second Honda of Stuart White, and 3rd place Paul Smith in his BMW. James Dodd wasted no time in gaining the lead as soon as the lights went out, whilst Cleland took on White for 4th, with Dodd increasing his lead whilst White escaped and challenged Paul Smith's BMW for 3rd. With the BMW dispatched, White continued his charge past Watts, setting the Honda, but all was not well in Honda land. White retired after lap 4, leaving Dodd with a huge lead and Cleland in 2nd place. Watts, meanwhile, had fought his way back up to 3rd. James Dodd looked untouchable until this happened. A drive shaft failure destroyed his hopes for win and gave the top spot to Cleland. 2 laps later, the Scotsman had won in style. So the final positions: a win for John Cleland and pole position in race 2. 2nd place was Patrick Watts with the BMW of Paul Smith in 3rd, and Renault driver Simon Garrard in 4th place. Rounding out the top 5 was David Yarman.
You must have been ecstatic when you went off and see that you were in front.
Yeah, something I all got a bit frantic in the chicane on second lap, I think it was, and he braked hard to avoid something in front. I braked, tapped the back of him. At that point, I think I got past the BM and maybe Patrick as well. So that put me behind the 2 Hondas. And then when White spun coming through Church, I thought, well, that's fine, that's got rid of him. And I actually thought that James Dodd was backing off to, just make it a nice finish. But clearly he had a problem, which is sad for him, but great for me. But as I've said before, he drives a good car, and he's a proper little driver.
Enjoying being back in the car?
Yeah, it's great fun.
2nd place, got to be very pleased with that one, considering how mental the start was.
Yeah, at the start, I was a little bit nervous of cold tyres.
Yeah.
As was well publicised, I had a bit of a spin at Silverstone at the Classic, and it was due to the tyres not being warm after like a lap and a half.
Yeah.
And I'm very nervous. I'd be less nervous if I wasn't paying for the car, if I didn't own the car, if there were spares aplenty.
Yeah.
But owning the car, you're just a little bit nervous because it's something that caught me out, and round here you just don't want to be caught out. I had a look at the barriers. It's the first time I've done it on the inside of Noble. I've never looked over there. I've heard of people that have crashed into the barrier there. I actually had a look on the warm-up lap. That barrier is very close. I never thought it was that close, because that's where it's really the fast left-hander, and the tyres haven't had a chance to get warm by the time you get there. So I thought, shall I go through there as quick as I want to, or shall I let my brain take care? No. It was great to be on the podium. Great for me and the team and everything else. Really sad that the 2 Hondas broke down or went off, because they're the class of the field. Those 2 young guys are very good, and I think we'll have a lot of fun during the year with them.
It's time for round 2 of the Super Tourers.
How are you feeling ahead of this race now?
Yeah, it'll be different to yesterday. It still looks pretty wet out there. It's a really high-speed track. Wet weather makes it very, very tricky. So yeah, I hope everything goes according to plan.
The heavens opened for race 2 just to add to the complexity of the race. With no dropouts, the grid was as the drivers had finished the first race, with Cleland leading the pack away. Cleland dominated the early laps, but like James Dodd the day before, technical problems reared their head and he lost the lead to Patrick Watts, with Garrard quick to snap up 2nd place. Cleland hung on to 3rd place in the wet conditions, and that's how the race stayed until the end. So a win for Patrick Watts, with Simon Garrard in a terrific 2nd place. Cleland in 3rd and Neil Smith's Alfa Romeo 156 in 4th.
2nd yesterday, 1st today. Must be pretty pleased with that.
We're out here for the fun of it. It's great to get one of these cups. John and I were up there, we were having we were matching our times, but he had a car problem, What I want to do is win a race when no one's got car problems.
Yeah.
You know, but nevertheless, you can. Yeah, it's better than going home with a bent car or a car you've got to do things to. But it's great to see this car in my mirrors, because I think I'm the first person to see in a Peugeot to see a Renault in his mirrors.
Second place there, really slippy track out there, I'd imagine. How did it feel?
Yeah, very slippy, especially towards the end of the race, because obviously we're on wets and they start to go off quite badly because there's not enough water out there really. So yeah, it was tricky towards the end, very, very tricky.
Any ability in the car to push for first, or was it just kind of get it home in second?
I was pushing in, but I think in the end I thought I settled for second really, because Patrick, obviously being Patrick, very, very experienced man, and I didn't want to chuck it away in the wet.
First in the first race, third there. You said had a car problem. What went wrong?
The steering, something has come undone in the steering. We were pushing it down here to the start, and we couldn't see anything wrong with it. As soon as it got some loading on the car, the steering then in a straight line was way off to the left. So there's something's come undone in one of the steering locks, and then I lost the power steering sort of 5 laps into the race. So there was no point in fighting with them. I let them go, and I would have come in, but when I let them go, I couldn't see anyone else in the mirror. So I thought, well, I'll keep going till I see somebody, because there's no point in coming fourth, there's no point in coming third, or second for that matter.
Yeah.
But I thought, third's better than nothing. Had something caught me, I would just have come in, because this is not a place to have something break.
No.
Something break in dry grass is one thing, you maybe got half a chance of not hitting the barrier, but something in wet grass breaking is history.